What is up, homies? My name is Felix, and I am here gathered with you today to bring you guys another video. And today in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can add guitar to your beats. So this is a little bit different from the video that I made before on how to record guitar samples, because in that video I kind of just showed the ropes of recording your guitar into FL Studio and like basically how to record for acoustic and for electric. And this one I'm not going to be showing you how to record as much, because if you want to learn that, you can go and watch the other video. This video is going to be how you can add guitar to beats that you've already made. Maybe you think your beat needs a little something else, and maybe you have a guitar that you don't even really know how to play, and I might give you, a couple tips on how to actually play your guitar in this video too. And yeah, also if you're in any other DAW that's not FL Studio, don't fret, because all this kind of applies to the same thing. I just put FL Studio in the title because the program that I'm using today is FL Studio. Before we get started, you guys should follow my Instagram and my SoundCloud if you wish to. I'll have those down in the description below, and also down there will be my beat page and links to all the playlists of songs I've produced on Apple Music, Spotify, everything else as well. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, so some of the things you're gonna need for this video: you're gonna need a guitar, you're gonna need something to make your beats in. You might need a guitar tuner to make sure that your guitar's in tune, because you want your guitar to be, properly in standard tuning. And you want a microphone if you're recording with acoustic guitar, and an audio interface if you're recording with electric guitar. So first off, I'm gonna tune up this guitar. Okay, so now that the guitar is tuned and ready to go, I'm gonna put it to the side for a minute, because first we're gonna make the beats, because this is how to add guitar to your beats that you have made. So here I am now inside of FL Studio, and the first thing that we gotta do is make a beat. But I'm not gonna spend too much time in the actual video on this. This video is not about specifically making the beat, it's more about making the guitar portion of the beat. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick some drum sounds. Alright, so this is all we need really for now. The next thing I'm going to do is change the tempo. I'm going to put the tempo at like 160-ish. Do a 162 is fine. And now I'm going to add a free piano plugin, because piano is just a nice instrument to start with. Alright, so I'm going to whip up a little piano melody here, and then I'll be back to you guys. Okay, so I've just completed this piano melody here. I think it sounds pretty good. So yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. It's pretty nice and melodic. So the next thing that we're going to do is move on straight to the guitar part. So what we got to do is we got to zoom in here. So to zoom in, you can click this little top corner, and we're going to look at these notes down here. So D sharp, F, C sharp, and then A sharp are these bottom notes. And then over here it goes D sharp, F, F sharp, C sharp, and then A sharp again. So what we gotta do is pull out our trusty guitar, and we're gonna find those exact notes on the first two strings. Okay, hello down there. So I'm gonna try to explain this with as little to no music theory as possible, but you do need to have some guitar playing skills to know this. So basically, the way bar chords work is, so there's these main chords here. So this is an A minor chord, this is a C major chord, this is a E minor chord, an E major chord, and then there's all these chords right here. These are the basic open chords that most people learn when they first pick up a guitar. So those chords are very essential to know for this. So basically what bar chords are is you have this A right here, and you're gonna take the same shape. So make the shape but like this, because you're gonna slide it over and then place your finger across all of the notes here. So basically we just took this A and slid it down. It's like as if we had a capo right here, and then we played an A. Because now that A is going to turn into an A sharp. Basically, that's the kind of theory that we're going to be using here today. We're going to find all of the notes that we need to use for our bass notes and then turn them into bar chords. You're going to take each and every one of these, open chords and move them to wherever the root note that you find on these first two strings is. So basically, if it's on the top string, you're going to make a minor chord with your two fingers here, put them here, and then like this. That's going to be a minor. And then if you want a major, you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to put it on the fourth string down, and that's going to turn it into a major chord. And then if you're doing a bar chord on the second string down, you're going to do this same shape that you did for major, like this. You're going to move it down like that, and then bar your fingers again, and this is going to be a minor. And then if you want to do a major, you got to do like this. But some people don't like doing that, so you can just do a power chord, which is basically placing both your fingers like this and then just going like this. So yeah, basically that is kind of the ropes for doing bar chords, and that's basically all you need to know for the first two strings. So if it's the second string, major is like this, minor's like this, first string, minor's like this, major's like this. So yeah, basically that's what you need to know, and then we're going to find all of the bass notes and then translate those into chords on the guitar. So yeah. So basically the first thing that we have to do is find the note D sharp, because that's the first bass note in our chord progression. So this is a D, and this is going to be a D sharp. And I have kind of an inversion of the chord inside of FL Studio, but basically what I'm going to do is take a simple D sharp minor chord like this. And that's going to be our first chord. So now the next chord is going to be an F, and our F is going to be obviously right here. And I think this F should be a minor chord as well. So yeah, this F is going to be a minor. So we're going to go from a D sharp minor like that. So basically the way that I'm figuring out what notes are which is because the standard tuning is E, A, D, G, B, E. So from the E here, because open is E, E, F, and then F sharp, and then G, G sharp, and then so on. So basically that is the way that the guitar works. I know I'm explaining this in a very, simple way for people who do play guitar and already understand this, but I'm just trying to, cover everything for everybody. So yeah, basically back to the chords. We go from a D sharp minor to an F sharp minor here. And now I'm pretty sure the next chord we're going to do is a C sharp major. So basically the way that I know where C sharp is, because this right here is a C, and the root note of the C is right here. So you just go 1 over, and that's C sharp. So C sharp, and since this is a major chord, I'm just going to do like this and make a power chord. So we're going to go from here. And now that is our first 3 chords, and now the very last chord is an A sharp. And then the A sharp is again going to be a minor chord. So basically the way that I remember where A sharp is this 5th fret right here on the first string is an A, so you just move 1 over, and that's an A sharp. And the A sharp is once again going to be a minor chord, I'm pretty sure, so it's going to sound like this. So basically our whole chord progression is going to sound like this. So yeah, that's our whole chord progression, and that's the same chords that are being played on the piano. So what we're going to do is play the piano and then record the same chords with your guitar over top of the piano melody. So yeah, all you got to do, the procedure broken down is you got to find all of the bass notes of your melody that you have in FL Studio or whatever DAW you're using, and then find them, put them into bar chords, and then you're good to go. So yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm back in FL Studio now after giving that slight little guitar lesson, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over here to Insert 1, pop Insert 1 here, make sure that I have my microphone plugged in, make sure that I have it all set up and everything, and as you can hear, I do have it set up and everything. So yeah, that's done there, and now what I'm going to do is plop an Edison onto here. And the Edison, I'm going to just basically hit record and then press play in the pattern, and it'll play the piano melody while I record over top of it. So yeah, that's a nice little thing there. And also I'm going to head over here and click this, because that's gonna disable the playback so I don't mess myself up while I'm trying to play guitar. And now I can record my stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and then get back to you guys. Alright, so I just recorded my little guitar part, and I clicked and dragged to select the piece that it actually is inside of Edison, and I'm going to click this thing, drag it in, and go like that. And now I'm going to delete this one because this one was kind of a failed take. And now the whole thing should sound like this before we splice it and stuff. So as you can hear, it fits good because we mashed up the guitar chords with the piano chords, and it sounds nice and harmonious and stuff. So I'm going to put another one of these right here, and I'm going to just select all that. And it's not perfect, but it's just going to loop a little bit for now. So I'm going to right now come up with a little top melody for this, and the way I do that is I literally just do it by ear. So if you kind of go in and play it, so as you can hear, I just played literally 5 notes, and those 5 notes happen to sound good with them because I kind of know what I'm doing a little bit now. But what you can do is, let's say you go through and that note right there, it does not sound good. So you're going to skip over that note and you're going to go to the next one. And usually the way that this works, if you're working in a normal, Aeolian natural minor scale, is it's going to be a kind of a pattern like this. So it's going to be like one note here, and then skip, 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 and then I think like that. You can't really see, but those are two next to each other. So it's going to be like two next to each other, skip one, skip one, skip one, two next to each other. I think that's the way it is. You can just play around with it, but you're going to hear if a note sounds off, don't play that note. If it sounds good, then play it. Basically, you're just going to mess around with that until you find something that sounds good. You can do it completely by ear. You don't need to have any sort of music theory experience or knowledge at all. But if you do have some experience with scales or music theory or whatever in your guitar, so let's say we know that this melody is in the key of D sharp minor or whatever it was. So if it's in D sharp minor, you can take a D sharp minor scale on your guitar and play the notes in the D sharp minor scale. You can even do like a pentatonic scale and that would work as well. And then just add in notes as you see fit. But yeah, pretty much all the little top melodies that I do for my guitar beats, I do completely by ear. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. And I'm going to create a little top melody for this guitar piece. All right, so as you can see here, I recorded this little top melody for the guitar part. And now the whole thing is gonna sound like this before we cut it and make it nice and pretty and everything. So yeah, I think that sounds super dope. It's a really cool sounding beat so far. And the next thing that we're gonna do is kind of chop everything and make everything nice and neat so it fits really well together and sounds good. So I'm gonna start with this first one, the chords. And basically what we wanna do is we're gonna alternate between the slice tool and the pencil tool or the brush tool, whichever one, it doesn't really matter. And so the first thing I'm going to do is double click and then do generic bleeding and then go to the mode and then hit auto. So basically the generic bleeding is going to make it so that you don't have that clicking noise when you slice your sample, and then the auto is going to make it so that it doesn't change pitch when you stretch it. So now basically what I'm going to do is see if the beginning of every transient peak of the chords lines up with the lines here. So as you can see, this bottom one, the top melody, doesn't. So I know we're going to need to fix that. But for now, this one seems okay. This one seems okay as well. And this one is a little bit too behind. So what I'm gonna do is switch to this cut tool, and you can actually right click and then scroll to get to the other tools, which is a trick that somebody taught me, which is nice. But I'm very much in the habit of just going up here and clicking. So whichever one works best for you, but I'm probably just gonna click for most of the time. So now what I'm gonna do is right click, hit make unique, and now do time stretch, and we're going to stretch it until this lines up with the line. So now this lines up perfectly, and I think I'm going to adjust this one a little bit. So again, I'm just going to do right click, make unique, and now time stretch it just a bit. And now I'm going to have to do it for this one as well, just a little bit. And I'm quite a perfectionist, so I like to have everything be as perfect as it can be, with the exception of some things, because some things sound better when they're a little bit off. Like the piano melody, for example, has a lot of notes that aren't exactly on the lines, because it sounds more human, it sounds more real, and I like that kind of sound a lot of times. So yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this until I get all of the little transient peaks lined up with the lines, and then I will get back to you guys. Okay, so I just finished splicing the chord part, and then I copied it over, because it's the same 4 bars, just copied over anyways. So now we have these guitar chords sounding like this with the piano. So I think that sounds pretty good. It fits really well together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to solo this, just have this, and make sure this is selected with hitting Control and then select like that. But make sure you start at the beginning. And now I'm going to go into the mixer, turn this off, turn this on. I'm also going to disconnect my microphone because I'm not going to do any more guitar recording for this video. And now what I'm going to do, since I have this little recording thing selected, I'm going to hit Control and then R, and then hit Start. And now this is going to render whatever you have on the mixer track basically. So now, instead of having this all chopped, it's going to be one solid thing. And we can just cut off this little end part, because for whatever reason it always has a little piece at the end. But yeah, now we can move this around freely and adjust the pitch or whatever we need to do, and we won't have to do it for each and every piece. So yeah, that's a nice and handy little thing there. And now what we're going to do is the exact same thing that we did with the chords with this top melody here. As you can see, this one starts, a lot earlier, so we're gonna make every note start basically on the lines. And basically what we're doing here is just manually quantizing all of the notes from the guitar melody. So yeah. Alright, so I just finished chopping the rest of the top melody guitar sample, and now the whole thing fit together will sound like this. Now since we finished with the top melody, we can solo it and do the exact same thing that we did with the other guitar part and do Control R. And now we'll have a whole solid thing for this too. Can get rid of these and cut off the end like this. And now you may notice that we have all these little pieces here on the side of the chopped samples that we did. And what we can do, because we're not going to use those anymore, we just have these two, we can go to Tools, Macros, and then Purge Unused Audio Clips, and it'll get rid of all of those for you, and you'll just have the ones that you're using. So yeah, that's a super cool tip, and I use that all the time when I'm recording guitar. So yeah, now we pretty much have our entire guitar part completed. All that's really left to do is make the beat and mix it and put some effects on it, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I just completed the drum pattern pretty much. I added this little percussion sound, and then I added this little open hi-hat. So the whole thing together should sound like this before it's mixed. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to now assign these all to a mixer track with Control L, and now they're all on a mixer track. And now I'm going to go in and mix everything, basically just add an EQ to filter out some of the low end on the piano and the guitars, and then just level everything and do what I gotta do. Alright, so I want to add one more sound just to layer the piano, and I'm going to try out a few different arps with some gross beat on them and see how they sound. And they might sound good or bad, but I'm just going to try to find one that fits kind of well. Okay, so as you can see, I found a nice little arp that fit with the piano, and I added some filter freak on it, just a little bit of filter freak. Totally not necessary, but I just wanted to add it because I thought it sounded nice. Now what I'm gonna do is just separate all this stuff out, lay out the beat, and then I'll be done. Okay, so as you can see, I pretty much just finished out the beat. I basically just cut out some of the instruments after every 8 bars, switched it up a little bit. I did this pattern here, I clicked this, I did make unique, and then I made it just a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern, and then I added this little filter for the piano, so it sounds like this. And then I did that at the end of these 32 bar patterns. I didn't do it here, but I will do it now. And then I did it at the beginning here as well. Added my tag, the standard. And then I added these little tape stop effects, so it sounds like this. And then I added them kind of like before every drums drop in, and then just faded out the volume, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I didn't want to focus too much on making the beat for this video because it was more about the guitar recording part. But yeah, hopefully you gained some knowledge from this, and I think this beat turned out actually really, really good. I like it a lot. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like it as well. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video. That's all that I really have for you guys here today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you gained some knowledge here with me. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Go check out my Instagram and my SoundCloud, my playlist of songs I've produced, all that stuff down in the description below. And I will see you guys next time.